Do you know someone that has dealt with the consequences of drunk driving? Odds are, we all know somebody that has dealt with the aftermath of a drunk driving incident. Drunk driving is one of the easiest yet most dangerous ways to get yourself or others killed. Getting people familiar with this topic can help people understand how much drunk driving can and has affected the world. Hi, my name is Kelly Rowling, and today I'm going to be persuading my audience to never get behind the wheel if they've been drinking. I used 3 credible sources to do this today. I used an article called Impaired Driving, Get the Facts on cdc.gov to inform my audience of the statistics of driving under the influence. I also used an article on quotesafeco.com to inform my audience about the simple ways to persuade a loved one or a family member to never get behind the wheel if they've been drinking. And I also used an article on alcoholrehabguide.org to inform my audience on what drunk driving really is and the severity of it. And I'll also introduce my audience to the MAD Foundation. So first, we need to understand what drunk driving really is. Drunk driving is sometimes referred to as driving under the influence or driving while intoxicated, and involves operating a vehicle with a blood alcohol content level of 0.08%. However, even a small amount of alcohol can lead to harmful situations. So we need to understand what blood alcohol levels really are. So 0.02% is about 2 drinks, and that results in some loss of judgment or relaxation. 0.05% is about 3 drinks, and that results in lowered alertness and reduced coordination. 0.08% is about 5 drinks and will result in poor muscle control and decreased concentration. 0.15% is about 7 drinks and can result in vomiting or loss of balance. Now, although the legal limit is 0.08%, the smallest amount of alcohol can lead to a harmful situation. And any person under the age of 21 should not consume alcohol, so that person should blow a 0.00% in a breathalyzer. So how big is this problem? So in 2016, 10,497 people died in alcohol-impaired driving crashes, accounting for 28% of all traffic-related deaths in the United States. Of the 1,233 traffic deaths among children ages 0 to 14 years in 2016, 17% of those involved an alcohol-impaired driver. And in 2016, 1 million people were arrested for driving under the influence of drugs or alcohol. So there's multiple ways that we can prevent driving under the influence. So if you know that you're going out with your friends and there's going to be alcohol there, have a designated driver so that nobody is tempted to get behind the wheel if they've been drinking. And you can also pay for a ride to get home. So if nobody wants to be the designated driver, you can pay for an Uber or a Lyft. And then if drinking is going to be taking place at your house or apartment or wherever you live, just let your friends sleep over so that nobody gets behind the wheel if they've been drinking. You need to be firm whenever you're talking to somebody about not getting behind the wheel, because people can have exaggerated behaviors and they're going to think that they're right and they're always going to want to get behind the wheel, but you just need to let them know that they can't do that. And so if you're out driving and you see somebody that you think might be driving under the influence, call 911 immediately. And so one foundation against drunk driving that caught my attention was MAD, and that stands for Mothers Against Drunk Driving. And so far, they have saved 27,000 lives. MAD supports 4 major initiatives. They support more high visibility law enforcement. So if people think that they're gonna get caught, then they're probably not gonna drink. They're just gonna refrain and stay away from that so they can get home safely. Another major initiative that they support is ignition interlocks for all convicted drunk drivers. So what that is a convicted drunk driver, they're gonna have a breathalyzer in their car that they blow into before they start their car, and if they blow over 0.08%, then that's gonna keep the car from moving. So they're not gonna be able to go anywhere. And having this would reduce repeat DUI offenders by 67%. Advanced vehicle technology could also really help reduce the numbers of drunk drivers. So cars are always having the newest and latest technologies, and so if they have breath or touch to interpret, if somebody has a BAC of over 0.08%, that could keep the car from moving. And another thing is public support. So everybody has a responsibility to reduce drunk driving. So if you're out and you see somebody that you think might be driving, then you need to call 911 immediately. If your friends are out drinking and they call you and say, hey, can you come pick me up? Then you need to go pick them up. You need to make sure that everybody is always safe and never gets behind the wheel whenever they're drunk driving. And so the future, if we take care of drunk driving, then the government could save $132 billion a year. Parents wouldn't hesitate by putting their new drivers on the roads, and families would not become broken because of somebody else's mistakes. And so these are just a couple ways that the future could be brighter. And people need to understand that the drinking and driving is much more preventable than what they think. There's multiple ways that you can prevent this, and you need to take personal responsibility of your shared roadways and keep them safe, and don't get behind the wheel if you've been drinking. So I hope that this information is useful to you guys, and y'all can take this with you in the future, and thank you for your time.
Well,